Hello, gorgeous soul, and welcome to your tarot and oracle card reading for the month of August 2024, or whenever you happen to find this video. So like we did last month, if you were here with us then, I'm going to pull a tarot and an oracle card for each of the elements. So one set for air signs, earth signs, water signs, and fire signs. I think that format kind of worked well last month. I really preferred it, I think, as a reader because I felt like we could go a little bit deeper than just kind of doing a surface message for each of the signs. There are so many things happening this month that I need to tell you about. The first thing is that the Spiritual Author Academy is going to be launching super soon. If not, when you see this video in the next couple of days, head to the link below and you can find out all about that if you are somebody who would like to write your own spiritual book, get it published, get it out into the world, or if you would like to create your own deck. Other things that are happening, it is Lionsgate on the 8th of the 8th, which is a very powerful, potent portal day that many of you will probably already know about. If you don't know anything about it, I made a podcast episode last year. Nobody could explain to me what the actual F was going on with Lionsgate. Everyone was like, it's a powerful portal, it's 8-8, it's all these things. And it's like, why? No one could explain to me the astrology of it. So I went on a really deep dive last year and I found out why it is so amazing, why it's so important. It's absolutely fascinating. I made a whole episode about that. If you're curious, that will be below. The link will be below for that. I also created last year a workshop. I held space on the 8th of the 8th and we did this workshop called Syrian Sound Codes, and it was beautiful. And if you would like the recording, it's only $11 and the link will be below. You can do that anytime at all, really, but it adds a little bit of an extra punch if you do it around this time, around the time of Lionsgate. We are, of course, also moving into a Mercury retrograde. Yay! I have so many thoughts and feelings about that. You will find on the channel videos that I've done in the past about Mercury retrograde. My biggest advice and guidance around Mercury retrograde is just to stay in your power and stay calm, and remember that you can create your own experience with Mercury retrograde. You don't have to buy into the fear or the drama or the hype. You can just stay in your own lane, stay in your own energy, and you can use it. You can use Mercury retrograde to actually have a really positive experience. It can be a fantastic time to just slow down, retreat, rest, take a break off social media. I'm going to be doing that during Mercury retrograde myself. It's just a really good time to come back to yourself. When we're so busy in the modern world, just pushing and hustling and moving forward, it can be really powerful. And it's actually essential for us to take a break sometimes. So Mercury retrograde is a fantastic time to do that. Okay, let's get on with the reading. The decks that I am using this month, the Galactic Guides Oracle. This is the deck that I created with Ellie Grant and it is published by Rockpool Publishing. It's out now. It is just such a fun deck. I'm super excited to use that today. And our tarot deck is the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot by Ethany. Now, I'm sure many of you who hang out on my channel probably already know who Ethany is. She's a super big deal in the tarot community. If you don't know who she is and you haven't got any of her decks, go and check her out. Check out her decks. She creates just amazing, beautiful decks, and she seems to just have a new one like every couple of months. It's incredible. Like, she's amazing. So we're going to use that tarot deck today. Okay, so let's begin with our fire signs since we are in the season of Leo. we're going to pull your tarot card for you. I think it's that one. And then we're going to pull your oracle card, and that one is hanging off the edge. So, okay, I'm loving this. So your oracle card for the fire signs in Leo season, your oracle card is Leo. So I don't know how I could have picked a more perfect card than this. The keywords here are big-heartedness, fierceness, and boldness. And then your tarot card is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is a really beautiful card for manifestation. And this feels like a really juicy time for you, fire signs. Like this is an exciting time. I feel like you are just so in your element this month. Like you're really in your element. You're really feeling like the passion that maybe has been not there for a little while. Maybe you've been feeling tired or just like, what's the point? Or a little bit hopeless. I feel like for many of you, that is kind of starting to shift and you're coming back into this place of, actually, I'm feeling excited about life again, and I'm feeling excited about my goals and my dreams and all of the things that I want to achieve. So this is a really good month for you to be making plans, setting goals, visualizing and dreaming big. And you can use the Lionsgate portal energy. If you're watching this early in the month, you can use the Lionsgate energy to really manifest something big. I really feel that for you. I feel like there's this really strong feeling of like, use this to help you propel yourself into the future that you want to create for yourself. I feel like there's some of you who've kind of been just letting life get you down a little bit. I think that's, we all feel like that sometimes. Life can get us down a little bit, but I kind of feel like this is just such a powerful moment. Like the 8-8 portal is such a powerful moment for you to like make a different decision about that. And yes, sometimes we get down, sometimes we get into depression, sometimes we need help coming out of that. But sometimes if you're just feeling a bit sorry for yourself, or you've just kind of lost your way, you're not feeling very excited about life, sometimes the best thing that we can do is like crank a good playlist, open the windows, let some fresh air into our space, shift our energy, move your body, dance, Kundalini yoga, whatever your thing is, go for a walk, get outside, move your body. I'm hearing though that like walking or just like a normal kind of getting outside may not be enough. You may need to really like dance it out, shake it out, like shift out that energy. And once you've done that, it kind of feels like then you can make a decision. You can make a decision at any moment to be somebody who lives with passion or to be somebody who lets life get them down. And I'm not saying that you can't have bad days or that it's not okay to be in a funk. We all experience that. But even when you're in the midst of a funk, even when you're just like, I just feel so over it right now, you've got to have that tiny little spark that's like, you know what, this is a bad day. This is a bad time. I'm struggling right now. But it's not always going to be like this. And there is still something to get out of bed for. There is still like this part of you that believes in your dreams and believes that you can really do everything that you feel like you're here to do. I feel like there's a huge message here around clearing your energy, clearing your space. It's really easy to get in a funk when we're picking up too much of everybody else's stuff, too much of everybody else's energy. You're probably an empath, you're probably a sensitive person, you're probably sensitive to energy. And for many of you, it feels like part of the reason that you're in a funk, part of the reason that life's getting you down at the moment is just because you are too Like you're not protecting your energy and you've taken on too much of other people's stuff. And it's really easy to clear that. Like I said, dance, open your windows, move your body, shift your energy. There's so many different ways. Like read my book, Witch Please, do a Google. You'll find loads of ways to clear your energy and then start protecting your energy. And there's a video on my channel that I made really recently about the importance of protecting your energy. Do those two things and so many things will shift for you. It just feels like, let's shift the energy, let's clear the negativity and come back to the truth of who you really are. And the truth of who you really are is that you are a passionate, beautiful, soul-led light in this world. And we need your light. We all need your light. We need your light to make this world a better place. So focus on shifting your energy, focus on following your passion. And that's kind of, if you've been thinking lately, like, what's my purpose? What's the point? That's the point. That's your purpose, is to follow your passion. Do the things that light you up, follow those lights, follow those callings, and you will have such a big impact on all those around you, on the world, and on yourself as well. Okay, fire signs, that was a pretty big message, but it feels really, really exciting for you. It feels like a really, really exciting month. And it just feels like coming, like the light at the end of that tunnel. It just feels like, oh, so good. So good. I can't wait to hear about what you're manifesting, what you're doing in the world. Post a comment and let me know. I would love to hear from you. I'm sending you so much love. Okay, on to my beautiful earth signs. Let's see what is in the cards for you this month. Okay, it's definitely that one flying out at me. Okay, earth signs. Ooh, okay. So your oracle card is Sirius. Now this is really, really exciting because this is like perfectly aligned with what's going on with the Lion's Gate this month. The Lion's Gate portal opens when the Sirius star rises over the Giza Plateau in Egypt. And this rising of Sirius was so important to the ancient Egyptians because they had such strong ties to Sirius. They had beliefs that some of their gods came from Sirius. They had beliefs that the star was connected to their spirituality. There's so many things. You can listen to the podcast if you want to hear more about that. But the Sirius star was just so important to them. And it is so important to so many people who are on the spiritual journey at this time as well. And it's so beautiful that we're still hooked into that we're still really connected to the Sirius energy. So the keywords here on the Sirius card: knowledge, training, wisdom keeping, and wisdom teaching. So it's a lot about wisdom and it's a lot about learning. And your tarot card is the Three of Swords. Now, a lot of people freak when they see the Three of Swords. I actually have a video on my channel about my thoughts on the Three of Swords and how it's really not anything to worry about at all when you see it in a reading. I very often see it come up in a reading as a message that there's some healing needed, to take time out for healing, to focus on the healing journey. And I absolutely feel that that is a huge part of what you're being called to focus on during this month, during the Lion's Gate, to really just think about what do you want to have healed, not just your physical healing, but your emotional healing, your spiritual healing, your energetic healing. What are you carrying around that you no longer want to carry? I feel like there's some heaviness in the heart center for some of you, and this month is a beautiful time to shift and clear and just leave that behind. So every time one of these portals opens, whether it is the 8/8 Lion's Gate, or whether it is the solstice or the equinox or a new moon or whatever it is, we always have this opportunity to let go of the old and move into the new. And this portal is no different. And it's a very powerful one. Like the equinoxes, the solstices, Lion's Gate, these are very, very powerful portals. The moon is also great, but these are like really special power days. And on these days, we have like this extra ability to just say, you know what, I'm done with carrying that around. And one of my favorite things to do is to think about healing in terms of what is the lesson and what is the blessing, and to take those things with us moving forward, but to let go of the pain, the suffering, the unforgiveness, whether it's that we're not able to forgive somebody else or we're not able to forgive ourselves. And, you know, forgiveness is like that's a huge topic. And I'm not at all suggesting you have to forgive everyone that's ever harmed you. But the idea here is that you take the lessons and you take the blessings and you leave the rest behind, because it does not serve you. It does not serve you to hold on to old hurts, old suffering, old pain. It does not serve you. It only harms you, and it only creates difficulties moving forward. And I feel like many of you who are listening to this have like a really important soul mission here on earth. And if you are just stuck in your own suffering, your own pain, your own guilt or shame or whatever it is that you're kind of experiencing, it is so difficult to live your purpose. Your guides, your ancestors, they don't want you to carry this around. Your guides are just like, it's done. Like, let go of your karma. I'm kind of seeing it as like, you know, a lot of us are carrying around all this karmic baggage, and it's like, you know what, we released that lifetimes ago, but we're still energetically carrying it around. Like, we still think that we have something to pay off when we don't. And so that's a really strong message coming through for some of you today, is this idea of like, you know, if you think you've got karma to pay off, you don't. You don't. And I think there's a shift. I think there's been a shift happening for a long time, but I think we are noticing this more and more. We're moving into this vibration, into this place in, you know, energetically now on Earth, where we no longer need to be so concerned with paying off the old karma and paying off old karmic debts. What we need to be concerned with is creating good karma for ourselves, for each other, for the planet, for our future selves, for our descendants, for all those who come after us. So instead of focusing on the negative, like, oh, I did something shitty, so I need to pay that off, or I feel guilty about it. You know, there's this idea too that like, if we did something bad, or we did something, you know, bad, maybe it wasn't so, maybe, you know, that's just our way of seeing it. We did something bad, and now we have to like carry around this guilt or shame or pain or whatever as our karma for doing it. And it's like, let's just forget that. Let's just release that. Let that old kind of paradigm thought go, and instead just focus on, well, what can I do that's good? And not from a perspective of like, oh, I've got to pay off my negative karma by good deeds, but just from the perspective of, we're more interested now in collecting positive karma and creating positive karma and having that ripple through our relationships, our communities, through the world, than we are focused on, we've got to pay back something that we did like lifetimes and lifetimes ago. So huge messages here for you, earth signs, around letting go, You don't need to carry the hurt and the pain and the suffering. If you're carrying something and you're like, Vix, I have no idea how to get rid of this, then you have a couple of options. You can always get a reading with me. One of my favorite types of readings to do at the moment, and these have been so popular and people have just been reporting like the most amazing results from these, is a past life vow removal service, where we basically do a reading on past life vows that you've made, and then we energetically remove them in a healing session. So that could be something that's useful for you. Or you could just get a healing session. You could go to counseling. You know, if it's something that you can't just say, you know what, okay, yeah, I'm done with it. But another really, really powerful way to do this, and this could be a beautiful ritual for you over the Lion's Gate, is to just write it down on a piece of paper and burn it. I just did this yesterday with something that came up in a reading. I was just reading for myself and I had this little flash of insight of something that I was holding on to. I wrote it down really quickly just on a post-it note and I burnt it, and I just felt like that's leaving, you know, like that's clearing. And I would never say, hey, look, you wrote it on a post-it note and so you never have to think about it again. It will never come back around, because sometimes it does come back around, but it doesn't have to. That can be it. You know, that can be the healing process. That can be the, I am done with this, the ritual of like, I am done with this story. I am releasing this. I am breaking the chains from this. Write it down and burn it. Okay, earth signs, that was a bit heavy, but hopefully there was something in there that was useful for you. I really feel like you are on the edge of being able to like really release something that has been causing you pain and suffering for a long, long time. And I feel like you have this beautiful opportunity this month to let that go and to move forward. It just feels like a really powerful energy here for you to be able to just be done with that once and for all. Please do let me know in the comments if this resonated, if you have questions. I would love to hear from you. And you know where I am if you would like to get a reading with me this month as well. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Okay, Earth, sorry, we just did Earth, air signs. Okay, fellow air signs, let's see what is in the cards for you this month. Maybe not that one. I just feel like there's so much pressure when you're shuffling on a video. So it's like, oh, okay, I got to pick the right one. All right. Okay. We've got some big cards like generally this month, and you know, this is a big month. This is a big time of the year. We have just moved through Lammas / Imbolc, depending on where you are in the world. But we're at that cross quarter point between the solstice and the equinox, which is a powerful portal, a powerful place in itself. We are, you know, like I said, Lion's Gate, Mercury retrograde, there's a lot happening this month, but it all feels like it's stuff that's happening to, and it always is, it's always stuff that's happening to help us get onto our best and highest path, like the next level, the next step of our best and highest path. And sometimes that's challenging, but it's all for our best and highest good. It's all for our soul growth. Okay, so your oracle card is Pluto. And this is a big card. Okay, so the keywords are revelation, transformation, death and rebirth, and liberation. So already we can see here, fellow air signs, that there are some big opportunities here for change, for things to be different. And so sometimes when we see a card like that, we think, oh gosh, like this is going to be big, this is going to be heavy, this is going to be hard. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes change is exactly what we need. It's exactly what we need to make things better. I've talked about this before and I will talk about it again and again and again. But we so often stay in the same place because it's comfortable, not because it's useful or not because it's where we're supposed to be, but we stay in the same place because it's easy, because it's comfortable. And we sit in this place and we say, gosh, I wish things were different. I wish this could be different. I wish I could make more money. I wish I could be happier. I wish my relationship was better. I wish that I could move house. Like we're like, oh, but I can't. I wish things would be better. I wish things could change, but they're not going to, or I can't change them. And so we just kind of accept things, even though we have like this burning desire to see things be different. And we would love for things to be different, but we just get stuck in a rut, or we just get stuck in thoughts, beliefs, that it's not going to change, that it's not going to happen for us, that we're not going to be able to make those changes, because we look back at our life and we look for evidence and we say, well, it's always been like this, so it's probably always going to be like this. But we have so much power to create change in our lives. And sometimes it's not even about us creating change. Sometimes it's about the universe swooping in to make that change happen. And I didn't pull the tarot card, isn't the tower, but there's a tower kind of energy here. There's a tower energy here in the sense of, if you don't make the change, then the universe may come in and like make the change for you. And that can be sometimes a lot more challenging than when we when we make the change ourselves, or when we have a hand in the change. And so what's really important for you to do this month is to get really clear on what you want to be different in your life. Really get clear on it, and really get clear on what you want specifically to change and to be different, and visualize it and speak it out loud to yourself, to your guides, to anyone that will listen, anyone that you think should be aware of it. There's so much power in just telling people, what we want. Like, there's so much power in that. And a lot of people will say, don't tell people your biggest dreams and goals and the things that you really want, because it lessens the magic, it lessens the potency. But I've always been a believer that if we say it out loud and we tell somebody what we want, they might be able to help us make it happen. They might be able to make it happen. So one really cool example of this that happened to me recently is my band just released their first song. And my husband, who's also in the band, he told a friend about it and sent them the link, and they had contacts for a trance radio station in the UK, and they were like, I'm going to send it to them. And then they played it on the radio, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, my song has been played on the radio. Like, that's so amazing. But that never would have happened if we hadn't have kind of put it out there into the world, and if we hadn't reached out and said, hey, here's my song, like this, I would love for this to be on the radio. I'd love for someone to hear this. So you need to tell people about your dreams. You need to tell people what you want, because that way people can help you make it happen. Okay. A tarot card is the Knight of Swords. So here we have a little message about Mercury retrograde, about pushing too far, going too hard, too fast. Air signs, more than anybody, needs Mercury retrograde. We need Mercury retrograde because we're so in our heads all the time, and we have so many ideas, and we have so many thoughts and so many things going on, and we need to constantly be creating and sharing and communicating and all of these things to get these things moving through us. But we also have the ability, the capacity to go too hard, too fast. Air signs do this all the time. and then we burn out. And it's like Mercury retrograde is like this beautiful gift from the heavens, from Mercury, God Thoth. And he's like, slow your roll, slow your roll and take a break, because otherwise you're going to hit burnout. And what I'm hearing is that air signs have a really specific energy that's very, very important. We all do. All the signs have their own frequency, their own energies that are so needed on the earth right now. But air signs have something specific that if we all burn out at the same time, there's nobody holding that frequency. And so it's really, really important for us to use these retrograde seasons to slow down and to do less. That's coming through really, really loud and clear. Do less this month. Do less. I know you've got jobs, you've got families, you've got things that you have to show up for, but what are the things that you don't have to show up for this month? Take a break from those things that aren't essential. I'm going to be taking a break from social media for a little while. I'm not exactly sure yet how long I'm going to take that break for. Usually when I do it, I take a break for like a month. I don't know, I might just do like 20 days. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to be taking a break from socials because it does use a lot of my energy and my brain power. And I'm constantly like thinking about something to create and creating content and, doing all of these things and putting all these things out there. I also find that Mercury retrograde is a really interesting time energetically for people because a lot of people lose their shit in Mercury retrograde. A lot of people just can't handle it and they buy into the hype, and every second post you start seeing is like jokes about, oh, Mercury retrograde's the worst and everything bad is happening and like all this stuff. And I just can't be asked with that stuff anymore. Like, yes, I enjoy the occasional funny meme about Mercury retrograde. I've made some myself in the past. But I don't need to see that like all season long. And I don't need to see like, everybody's posts about my computer blew up and this happened and it must be from Mercury retrograde. I've got my own work to do. Like I've got stuff that I need to focus on. So for me, I'm going to be taking a break. That's just one thing I'm going to be doing. Maybe for you, it's not social media. Maybe there's something else that you can take a break from. Think about the things that just aren't like super essential and just stick a pause in them. Or if you have like ideas for projects or extra things or side hustles or whatever, this isn't the month to be full on hustling for those. This is a month to be thinking about those and making plans. So if you want to create something, you want to put something out into the world, this is a great time to make those plans, to get everything organized, but don't like launch it or don't push it or don't force it. Okay, air signs, I hope that was useful. I hope that that felt like it went on like a massive kind of tangent, but hopefully there was something in that was useful for you. If you need a little extra support this month, you can grab a reading with me. The links are below on how we can do that together. And I'm sending you so much love. I really hope that you have such a beautiful, beautiful month full of just the transformation that you need and slowing your roll. And finally, we have our water signs. So let's pull your tarot card. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to take the one that fell on the floor. Let's go with that. And we will pull our oracle card. Okay, so water signs. Yeah, okay. So I can totally see exactly how these two cards are working together right now. So we have Virgo from the Galactic Guides deck, practicality, patience, organization, and details. So the word that's really sticking out there for me to begin with is patience. This is a month where things may not be happening as fast as you would like to. This is, we're moving into Mercury retrograde, so there's definitely like a feeling of things slowing down, but that is needed. That is important. I'm also hearing for you divine timing. So if there's something that you have been trying to manifest, or a goal that you've been trying to reach, or just something that kind of hasn't happened yet, but you're just like, oh, when is this going to happen? Or when are things going to change? Or when is it going to move forward? I'm hearing that it might not be in August, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So I feel like there's a big message here around, not giving up. Like, don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your plans, your goals, the things that you're trying to manifest. Don't give up and assume that it's not going to happen just because it hasn't happened yet. But also, just take some of the pressure off is what I'm hearing. Take some of the pressure off. Take some of the pressure off yourself. Take some of the pressure off the universe to like bring you this thing and to do all this for you. There's also a feeling here of like, don't forget to meet the universe halfway with your manifestations and all of the things that you've been asking for. If you've been asking for a new job, are you applying for jobs? If you've been asking for things to be better in your relationship, what are you doing like to make that happen? There's this real feeling from your guides that's just like, what are you doing to make things happen? Like I feel like there's some of you who are asking the universe for help, but you could be taking more steps to help yourself as well. That's a little bit of a tough love message, but I think, there are times everybody needs to hear that. I know I do. So have a think about that. But also, if you are taking steps and you are meeting the universe halfway and it still hasn't happened yet, I'm hearing like, please don't give up. Please just keep going, because there's like some divine timing issues at play here. And the time's just not right yet for something to happen that you want to happen. But hang in there, because that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. A lot of the time when we're manifesting or doing spells, like sometimes we get into this mindset of like, well, it didn't happen within a week, so it didn't work. Like my spell didn't work, my manifestation didn't work, something went wrong, I'm just not very good at this. And it's like, it's been a week. I was talking to my coven group, the Basic Witch Coven, about this, about how it takes time for magic to work. It takes time for manifestations to work. Obviously, when you step up and you do your part and you make things happen, it can happen a lot quicker, right? But even then, it can take time. So some of the biggest things that I've manifested, some of the things that have happened in my life that are things that I wanted for a really long time, sometimes things have taken like 10 years for me to manifest them. And by the time they happened, I'd almost even forgotten that I ever even asked for that or wanted that. It's like, hey, wow, okay, this is something that actually, was on my vision board like 10 years ago. Like, how cool is this? So there's definitely a message here around loosening your grip. That helps things happen too, right? Like that really can help with your manifestation and your spell work, is to loosen your grip. And this is one of my favorite tips for manifestation and spell work, anything that you're trying to make something happen. One of my favorite tips, and this works really well for me anyway, is to think about what you want, do your practice, do your spell, do your ritual, whatever it is, and put it out there into the universe and say, this is what I want. And then come back to yourself and say, you know what, if this is in alignment with my best and highest good, then, so mote it be. And if it's not, show me what is. And to do it with the intention of like really knowing deep down inside in your soul that if this thing doesn't happen, that you will be absolutely fine. If you don't get the book deal, you'll be absolutely fine. If you don't get $1 million, if you don't win the lottery, you'll be absolutely fine. Like if you, if your soulmate doesn't come into your life in the next 10 years, you'll be absolutely fine. And I found such a shift in doing that with my manifesting, because it really helped me to get into this energy of like, well, this would be great if this happens, but I know if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be fine. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I'll do something else. I'll find another way. I'll have a different experience. Something else will come up. I'll be fine with or without this. Now, some people don't like that approach, because some people like the approach of just like, I absolutely 100% believe this will happen and I refuse to believe in any other possibility. That's fine if that's your way to do it, but I prefer to just kind of be like, you know what, this would be great. This is what I really, really want. But if it's not for me, it's not right for me, then that's okay too. Okay, so your tarot card is the Five of Wands. So this is a really interesting combo here. The Five of Wands, and then we have like the organization keyword in the Virgo card. So there's definitely, as well as all the other stuff I've mentioned already, there's definitely a feeling here of like a little bit of chaotic energy, perhaps a little bit of disorganization in your life. This is a fantastic month to get organized emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically and practically. This is like such a good time to declutter, clean your house, tidy up those shelves and areas that you've been like, and I know I've got some of these, you've been like, I got to tidy that up, but you haven't done, every time you walk past it, you're like, I need to tidy that up, and you haven't done it yet. Story of my life. I'm taking my own advice here. Cleaning, clearing, organization, just hearing the phrase, you got to get your shit together a little bit. And look, I'm a water rising and a water moon. So this is for me too, okay? This is for me too. You got to get your shit together a little bit. And whatever that is, whatever that means to you, is it just that you have been spending time doing things that aren't important? Have you been wasting time on social media? Have you been, saying to the universe or to yourself, this is my goal, I really want to make this happen, but then instead of sitting down and making it happen, you're spending time doing other stuff that isn't important? Things like that. It's a really good month to focus on that and to think about that. Like, where are you actually self-sabotaging yourself? Where are you self-sabotaging your dreams? And, like I said, I'm saying this to myself as well. So, we're all on this journey together. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting month for you. Water signs, there's definitely a feeling of just like trust, divine timing. You don't need to push or force anything this month, but just sort of sort your shit out a little bit. That's your guidance for this month. I really hope that resonated. I hope there's something in there that's useful. If you have any questions or want to share anything, please do post in the comments. I'd love to know if you find these readings useful. If you want to work together this month, all the links are below on how you can do that. And I am sending you lots and lots of love.